That's step one of getting it away from people, just like they did. What year was that? Anybody know the year where they started saying it was illegal to own gold? 70? Where they started actually going to people and taking back their gold. So this is what this CBDC can be a precursor to, is, okay, now that you've been set up in our wonderful system, we've given you maybe money for no reason. Oh, no reason, here, just have this. But now, guess what we want now? We want you to send your Bitcoin here, because we'll take care of your Bitcoin with our country coin, and we'll just convert it for you, and we'll convert it back whenever you want, but you'll never ever get Bitcoin back again. You'll just get, you know, CBDC, BTC, CBDC, LTC. And all of a sudden the country will start accumulating all this cryptocurrency, and if they're stupid like they have been in the past with gold, they'll sell it off right away for nothing. Other countries maybe won't. Let's hope that, you know, Canada ends up being one of those countries that doesn't, but that's going to be the hook. The CBDCs will come first, and then they're going to try and get you to send your crypto in. You're going to owe taxes on this or that. They'll say, send your crypto in, and we'll take care of those taxes for you, and we'll give you a nice bonus on your tax return this year. But you no longer have Bitcoin or ETH or Litecoin or Cardano or any of these tokens now. You now have a promise maybe one day to get some back from the government, which you never will get. That's
maybe
basically what
Satoshi will wake up and become his own government.
Well, you know what? Maybe at some point, yeah, maybe it needs to happen too. United Kingdom, you know, that's one of their approaches. Singapore is doing a similar kind of thing too, with they're increasing their AML requirements, anti-money laundering law requirements. So they're allowing less cash to go in at a lower denomination value than they ever have before, and they're continuing to lower that all the time, that's happening in Australia as well. So once they start lowering down the amount that you can buy, then they'll introduce the country-based currencies, and then from there we've already talked about what will happen after that. They'll accumulate most of the traditional currencies that way, and then they'll try and control the rest by, you know, any means that they can. Australia too, by the way, they have the CBDC coming through. US hasn't put that forward yet, but they are, as we talked about a little bit earlier, they're trying to change it into a commodity. And they have a very strong infrastructure to handle commodities, and that's the SEC. And they can be far-reaching, they go into other countries, they seem to have a lot of power, just based on what is, yeah, and they're rich now because they fined Binance how many billions of dollars? I can't remember. $6 billion. Oh my Lord! So yeah, they got a lot of cash.
FTX, they got FTX too.
FTX, yes.
So they're sitting with about $8 billion in assets.
Well, fortunately, it looks like, you know, U.S. is kind of moving in a good direction for crypto right now. We don't know for sure till legislation gets passed and things happen, but right now it's looking kind of positive. And they've stated openly that they want to stay innovating and they want to stay advancing in that sector, which is really good. I mean, you know, they won't stifle innovation if they do that. And there are several other jurisdictions that have done it as well. So their concern to be number one in everything is a positive thing for crypto, because if US adopts very open, positive views towards crypto, and they allow innovation without, you know, stifling tax ramifications and things like this, they may encourage other countries to do the same. Hopefully, us being so close would be one of those countries that they would encourage to do that. So, I mean, who knows? So the next one is kind of interesting, and this, if it updates properly, it did, look at that. That's a live representation of how much time we have left in the Bitcoin halving to the countdown. And kind of interesting, I think. This is up there. You can watch your .guru. You can check this out yourself, and you can have it running in the background. This is live. It's not just something that I posted up there. If you check the price, that's live. Real time. Yeah, watcher.guru. And it tells you we've got 29 days, 5 hours, 20 minutes till the halving. That is not very long. That's less than a month away to the halving. And yeah, the next meetup, I guess, if things go well, it does go by blocks. They're just giving an estimate on time based on X number of blocks are left, and they'll multiply that by an average of blah, 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 and they'll come up with a time frame of 29 days.
Historically, within the 4-year gap, it does go up considerably.
Just before the halving?
No,
No.
after, long after the halving. Usually at the halving, it goes down considerably.
Buy on the rumors, sell on the news. It's an old adage. I've posted about it on Facebook as well. You know, when people start getting excited about this, generally the price that you see Bitcoin at right now, it's built in already. The halving is already built in, right? But people are thinking it's going to double again at the halving, which it can. Nobody knows what will happen. But when you've seen these cycles enough times, you start thinking, you know, there's a pretty good chance that this is going to go down. Not forever, because if you look a year or two later, it's way up from where it ever was, just like what just happened with us passing our all-time highs, right? Like, you know, we never thought that was going to happen, the all-time highs, you know, and we went right past that. We blew past that by quite a bit, and as far as I can see, we are still past that, because and I always talk in Canadian dollars, by the way, we're at 87,800 right now in Canadian dollars, and previous to this, the highest was I think around 83,000 Canadian.
A lot of this too, Kevin, is people buying the rumor.
What was it? 91,000 Canadian.
2021?
Yeah.
So we're past that.
We have hit that.
Yeah.
And one of the other things was we hit $1 trillion mark. Now we're already today at 1.35 trillion.
Yeah.
So
yes.
I mean, it's gaining.
It's not slowing down.
Yeah, it's the whole market cap is going up. One other thing on the halving, and I think why it goes down, is there's a lot of people think that halving means their Bitcoin goes in half. Personally,
Yeah, people get confused. And was the first thing I was going to explain what the halving is, because there's a lot of confusion about this. It's the rewards that are given to a miner have every so many blocks, roughly 4 years, give or take. But the rewards halve. So the value of Bitcoin has to go up enough to accommodate that and to make it profitable for miners to keep running mines. I mean, otherwise the verification process that Bitcoin works on won't work. So right from the get-go, this has been happening, and chances are for the foreseeable future, it'll continue to happen. So the price of Bitcoin will continue to go up as long as it's a popular financial instrument for people. If we believe in it as a group or as a nation or as a world, nothing can stop Bitcoin. I mean, really, it's decentralized. It's outside the purview of governments, banks, financial institutions. They can buy it just like we can. They may have more money and they can buy more, but they can't control it. And if they come up with different rules about it, well, then it's not Bitcoin, it's something else. So, so there's an opportunity, and problem is stuff like this build up an artificial hype. So everybody thinks Bitcoin halving, they think of it like Wayne said, different financial ways that people think about it. Some people think about it like stock splitting, where your Bitcoin becomes more valuable by double. Well, it's not like that either. It just means the rewards given to the miners are in half. So traditionally, the value has to go up to accommodate that. But that's already happened. Mining is quite profitable for quite some time already now, because I'm involved in that industry as well. And it's already been quite profitable for quite some time, so that price has already been built in.
Sorry, a lot of it too is people buy the rumor, sell the news. So there's a lot of people buying right now thinking the price is going to skyrocket at the halving, which it historically doesn't. And when it doesn't, they're going to sell. So that's why we usually see a dip after the halving.
Yep.
Now, historically for us, it's only been 3 halvings, and so any previous, there's no way to forecast what's going to happen.
No, there's no way to know. And there's different things this time around than there ever has been before. Like the demand for Bitcoin is much higher than it's ever been before. The market acceptance is higher than it's ever been before. Nobody was talking about it for years and years and years already when it was down. I mean, you didn't even see a news report about it. You had to scour traditional media to even see information about it. Now it's everywhere. You know, everybody knows about it. Grandma knows about it. And I can't remember what it was. There was one of these traders that said, as soon as your grandma knows about it, that's time to sell. So, you know, a lot of people thought about Bitcoin that way, but again, it's something different. It's never been done before. This is completely different. And the way of perceiving value is completely different. So that's what it is. It's when Bitcoin rewards to the miners get halved. That's what the Bitcoin halving is. So it doesn't mean that the value of Bitcoin is going to go up or going to go down. It means that the rewards that are paid out to the miners are going to get cut in half. It went from 6 1/4 to 3 1/8 now. So when they hit a block, they get 3 1/8 Bitcoin in 29 days. And that's quite a hit. I mean, if you're a miner, I mean, realistically, but right now people are making bank. A lot of people that have large mining farms have made so much money over the last year that they're not too upset about this. I can tell you that much right now. Like, this is, not a problem. They've been mining for, 3, 4 years.
Keeps on going up.
Exactly.
When you have a hash rate that keeps on going up, all that means is the security of the network increases.
Yep, and people believe. So Ethereum has been pushing the envelope on a lot of the financial-based things just because it's a programmable blockchain. And being that it's a programmable blockchain, anything you can come up with, whether it's a loan-based program, a membership, currency, anything that can be programmed on the Ethereum blockchain. So that really gives another whole layer of complexity to regulation, because let's say, for instance, that you create a new token and it's super popular. Well, you're running on the Ethereum blockchain, so you never created the blockchain, but someone else did, and the regulatory bodies have already said that that blockchain is good, and now you create your instrument on that blockchain and it becomes huge. Well, they don't really know how to deal with that. There becomes many layers of things, because that particular financial instrument, say it's a loan-based program that they built on the Ethereum blockchain, which there are lots of tokens that do this kind of thing. So you're in a loan-based program. Well, if that becomes really popular, they can tie in with another one that does futures, and another one that does traditional stocks, and like, it's literally endless. Anything you can think of programming, you can do. So now imagine the regulatory bodies that look at that and say, I don't even know how to regulate the first one. Now that can go 20 layers deep. It can be doing 10 different things. And with smart contracts, you can trigger one transaction to initiate another transaction, to initiate another transaction. It can be a whole cascade event of things that happen through one yes or no.
This is a good thing.
It is a very good thing, because it makes it impossible in a lot of senses, especially when you add in some of the complexities with VPNs and other ways to mix coins and all this kind of stuff. It gets to the point where it's a huge undertaking to actually be able to regulate this. So they're going to have to come up with some pretty simple framework, or it just won't work. It's as simple as that. If the framework is not simple, that the average person who owns crypto and wants to pay their tax can just submit it easily and get it done, it's not going to work, because people will get confused and they just won't do anything. That's just different kinds of tokens.
And the Bitcoin at that time had a market cap of 17 billion. Right now it's 1.4 trillion.
Yeah.
7 years ago.
Eventually, yeah. Most people believe
silver. That. I don't know if Kevin mentioned that, but it's already overtaken silver.
That's a good point.
As far as market cap.
Yeah. Higher market cap than silver. Think about that. Silver's been around since the beginning of humankind. I mean, really, I think they had silver in Jesus' time, right? So, it's been around a long time. And Bitcoin just beat it. That's a pretty big milestone, So it's definitely not going anywhere. It's not that it's going to disappear. Like, that's one of the running jokes that we have, is that it's been declared dead. I think it was 433 times the last time we checked, that through the press, through the standard media outlets, Bitcoin is dead 433 times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's probably more than that. I think it goes up every week. So every time there's a dip, I think it's over, that's it.
Gold market cap is about $35 trillion. So if
we got a ways to go.
35 trillion, that means your Bitcoin is valued at roughly 3.5 million?
Bitcoin, per Bitcoin, yeah. And it will beat gold eventually. It's just if you can live long enough to make that happen.
Well, digital gold.
476 times.
Yeah? 476 times. Okay, there we go. 476 times Bitcoin has been declared dead. Think about that.
Halving, it'll be enough.
Man, I'd want that many lives if I was a cat, I'll tell you. Holy man. It's not going anywhere, but you've got to be very careful, because people hear all kinds of scammy stuff too about this other coin that's better than Bitcoin. As soon as you hear that phrase, better than Bitcoin, watch out, because that's a scam. Right there. Because nobody, even people involved in the industry, will say better than Bitcoin. They'll say different than Bitcoin, better at, the times are faster. Like it'll hit a transaction time in a split second as opposed to 10 minutes. So yeah, okay, it's better at certain functionality, but not better in terms of a store of value. Because in crypto, it's always based off of Bitcoin.
So one other topic on this with Ethereum, another technology that just released not all that long ago is called Stacks, which does smart contract technology on the Bitcoin blockchain.
Yep.
So we're already seeing Bitcoin, traditional Bitcoin being able to have a layer 2 technology that can do smart contracts, which is huge.
Yeah. Well, and that's NFTs as well
Right.
on the Bitcoin blockchain
Right.
now.
Ordinals.
Fastest, well, not only ordinals, several of them now, but that's one of the fastest growth of NFTs ever was on because of Bitcoin blockchain.
But that's also generating higher fees for the miners too.
Yeah, it was fun though. But it ended up being that we were swapping Bitcoin for beer, so that way we could build up more beer in the fridge. And it turned out we ended up with this wallet that had a pretty good chunk of cash. I wish we still had that. Probably be worth like 30, 40,000 by now.
Yeah, a third of a Bitcoin.
Yeah, it was a third of a Bitcoin. So there you go, 30,000. Yeah.
So a beer fridge turned into a third of a Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, the miners take the fees. Like people who have these giant machines and facilities that are doing these verifications, or people just like me that have a few in the back that heat the building. Those are the people that get the fees.
Yeah, and I wanted to make a point on that. So we got Bitcoin halving. So you're getting a half reward, 6.25 Bitcoin per every 10-minute block, but you're getting almost 2 Bitcoin for transaction fees as well. So the halving is going to, at the end of all of the Bitcoin released into the market, and there is no more Bitcoin, the miners will be working on fees. And it could be.
He's the